The Supreme Court has reinstated a South Carolina law that requires absentee ballots to be accompanied by a witness's signature. So when a voter turns in an absentee ballot and signs it, it also needs to include the signature of a witness. Now, earlier, the lower courts actually blocked that law, saying that it interfered with the right to vote during a pandemic. Because keep in mind, during a pandemic, there are people who might be quarantining, who might be staying away from other people, and might not have the ability to get a witness to put their signature on the absentee ballot. Now, the Supreme Court heard this case and unfortunately decided to make it difficult for voters to vote absentee. So the court's most conservative members, Justices Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, and Neil Gorsuch, said they would have reinstated the requirements for all ballots. The Supreme Court made an exception, though, for ballots cast before it acted and received by election officials within 2 days of its order. So if you are in this state, if you're in South Carolina and you turned in your absentee ballot without a witness's signature, it's okay. That's the good news. Your ballot will still be counted. But moving forward, based on how the Supreme Court ruled in this case, people will need to have a witness's signature on the absentee ballot. Now, the terrible part about this is it's going to create more confusion, unfortunately, and people are already their trust in this system and our electoral process is shaky because of all the changes that are being made and because of all the steps that Republicans are making or taking to basically disenfranchise voters. The reasoning written by Justice Brett Kavanaugh gives you a sense of where they're coming from. And the reasoning, in my opinion, is dumb. In a concurring opinion, Kavanaugh wrote that the majority's approach was warranted because state election laws should not ordinarily be second-guessed by federal judges, and because the Supreme Court frowns on changes to election procedures made close to Election Day, even though their ruling makes a change to election procedures close to Election Day. All right.
Yeah, at first I thought he was almost joking when Kavanaugh wrote that, but he's referring to the lower federal courts basically overturning what South Carolina is trying to do. So the legislators of all these red states are trying to make it as hard as humanly possible, particularly for groups leaning Democrat to vote, blacks, students, etc. And now they realize, oops, there goes our advantage in mail-in voting, which we used to have because Donald Trump, the idiot, told everybody to not mail-in vote if they're Republicans. Now the Democrats have a 2-to-1, in some areas 3-to-1 advantage in mail-in voting. So I guess we're going to have to try to make sure that we squash mail-in voting because they hate the idea of democracy. They're worried they're going to lose in South Carolina. They're worried that the Republicans are going to lose in South Carolina. That's how bad a shape they're in. And a lot of it has to do with mail-in voting and how incredibly dumb Donald Trump is. So what they're now saying is, okay, we're going to require you to, one of the laws in a different state required you to get a notary. Where are you going to find a notary? That's insane. The good news is the two other conservatives voted against that. But Alito, Gorsuch, and Clarence Thomas said, we will vote with the Republicans basically under any and all absurd circumstances. They are willing to steal this election, but it's 3 justices so far.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.